Usually taking my morning hike run on the trails in my neighborhood, but sometimes I like to remember the days when I lived on the shoulder of roads. When I was a bike traveler, I've traversed 13 countries on my steel Trek bicycle, and I am the man I am today because of the experiences I had living here on the shoulder of the road. And as you've seen in my Insta story, we're building a beautiful house. We got a spring water pool. We have hundreds of fruit trees, building a yoga deck. I have a lot of blessed things in my life right now. And I'm in a very privileged position to be bearing the fruits of all this progress that we're putting into this land and being able to do it relatively quickly. And it's quite easy to take it for granted because it becomes your normal life when you're there day after day. And so I take runs like this to reflect and remember that for years of my life, I lived alone in the unknown in foreign countries. And this was my home. This was my happy place, the shoulder of a road. And that definitely puts into perspective and helps me stay grateful for what I'm building right now. So good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I want to talk about a few things, but first, to see if you're interested in this video, let me give you a synopsis of what I'm going to share on my mind today. A preview of sorts, which is, are you a hippie? What does being a hippie mean to me? People ask me that sometimes. You're a hippie, but sometimes I feel like I don't know. I'm just going to get into if I resonate with being a hippie, what hippie mentality means, because I feel like just being like a groovy hippie person has kind of, that concept has been a little skewed and abused over the decades. But I believe in the values, I think, of hippieism. So some of you older supporters, you know what, the sun's so good this way, so I'm just going to do a couple laps here in the highway. Then I'm also going to talk about what kind of events are we really planning to host on our farm. I want to start, as our vision gets more honed in, I want to tell you, like, what is our permaculture farm retreat center? What are we going to really be doing? If you choose to come and vacation and visit us, what's going to be going on? And then I might talk about a few political or just some shit that I've been talking with some friends about that are driving me crazy. How some people can, in my opinion, be so deluded with fake news and stuff. So that's what we're going to discuss. Hippieism first. I've, as I said, done a lot of traveling, know a lot of people, gone to a lot of festivals. The quintessential hippie to me is someone like Gene Bauer, founder of Farm Sanctuary. When he was like 20 years old, and he's like 50 something now. So 30, 40 years ago, he went out in a van and he toured around Grateful Dead shows selling vegan hot dogs to the attendees of the show. And then he would go around in that van and he would find abused animals, goats, turkeys, chickens, and would bring them back to his farm that he bought. He was growing soybeans to make tofu before it was popular. Being a hippie to me means addressing the injustices that are going on in your modern world and community, and then specifically working hard without much reward, or without doing it for the purpose of reward, but just doing it because it's in your heart, to fight back against that establishment and fight for peace and freedom, and also to connect with the people. I feel like now a lot of young people think a hippie is someone who just buys some expensive tie-dye merch on the internet and puts some face paint on and buys a ticket to a corporate festival and drops Molly. I'm such a hippie. I buy these crystals on Etsy. No hate to using Etsy, to liking crystals, to going to festivals. I'm just saying, let's tune back into what it means to be a real hippie, which is to fight for justice and peace against the establishment. That's why I care so much about politics. A lot of people in my community, maybe some of you, are like, politics is toxic. I don't want it in my life. Well, I truly believe it's fucked up that in the United States, that student loan debt is the only debt you can't go bankrupt on. And I think it's fucked up that if you get cancer and you're poor, the United States is the only developed country, rich country, where the government doesn't take taxpayer money from our richest people and pay for the poorest people to get good health care. And that our healthcare system is privatized due to the greed of the pharmaceutical industry and corrupt politicians. So that is such a deep injustice that affects human beings' lives. I like to know about it and research it and make videos about it. And I literally put in my money and support organizations that are fully dedicated towards uplifting progressive politicians so that they can get some power and bring more justice to the people. You know, I've made over 1,000 videos on YouTube sharing my deep feelings about speciesism and animal rights. I lived on a bicycle day by day by day, monotonously, inspiring local people 30 minutes at a time in all different types of countries about the message I was trying to put out there, which is be sustainable, ride a bike. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Go vegan, you can do it. Grow your own food. Just anti-establishment, you know, take mushrooms, connect with nature, connect with indigenous traditions. Don't just do what your parents and teachers and corrupt politicians tell you and force you to do. You know, get spiritual, whatever that means to you. To me, it means connecting with Mother Earth and realizing that when you see a squirrel or a monkey, in my case, or a toucan or an ant, you're truly no different. You're just organisms and beings that are living on a planet flying through space, and you're gonna die. So decorate your body with art. That's inspiring if you want. Work hard towards what you believe in and make the life that you want to live. So being a hippie is a radical move. It's not just wearing tie-dye and eating Molly and shit. All right, what kind of events are we really going to be, like, really, when you come to my land for a retreat, let's say for a retreat, because we're offering a variety of things. The first thing we're offering is rental cabins. So before Natalia and I are hosting you in a week-long immersive, life-changing event, we're going to start with the cabins, because it's just the first way we can start getting people on the land, getting our feet wet, learning, and making it a little business. So we're building the cabins right now, which means if you literally want to come in vacation, you have your own freestanding, private little cabin house with a bed, little kitchen, place for your clothes, little porch, Wi-Fi, spring water, a shower, a bathroom, fully private functional cabin so that you can come and live in our jungle, on our land, use our pool, walk through our fruit orchard, hang out with us once in a while for sure, but also be able to go take day trips and just, it's like Airbnb style. So that's the first thing we're doing now, and we're going to be ready to start hosting people in about 2 or 3 months from now, the first cabin. And then we need another 2 or 3 months for the second. And then I'm going to build like a hostel, which is going to be a cheaper stay option where you share, where you have your own bed, but in a shared bigger space if you want to come for a week, 2 weeks, a month at a cheaper price. Next, let's talk about the events. Yoga festivals, vegan festivals, or yoga retreat. We're going to host like a 10-person type of retreat where we will pick you up at the San Jose airport. We will transport you a few hours down here into the mountains of southern Costa Rica. And when you get here, we will first do icebreakers and get to know each other. We will immerse ourselves in the community that we have built and get vulnerable and share what we're excited about, what we're scared about, where we come from, a little bit about ourselves. And then probably the first morning, we'll go out for a hike and we'll hike the waterfalls and learn about some of the local flowers that are around. And we'll have fun in some waterfalls and see some toucans. Then we'll probably come back and do some yoga and meditation, maybe as Natalia or a volunteer worker of mine makes fresh coconut water, orange, lemon juice with lemongrass and tulsi basil and herbs from our farm. Then we'll break bread together, but by breaking bread, I mean papayas and smoothies and coconut water after early morning waterfalls and yoga. Then maybe we'll give you an hour or two of free time to hang out with each other, take a rest. Then maybe we'll have an optional workout or a run. We live in the mountains, we can do tons of trail running. Then maybe we'll pack a lunch and go drive us down to the beach to do some surfing or just hanging out on the water. Then we'll come back home, have time to shower, hang out in our spring water pool. And then maybe we'll cook dinner communally, making yuca fries and steamed sweet potato and fresh beans from the land and a huge salad. And then someone will bring out a guitar, maybe I'll bring out my guitar, and we'll sing and dance and write songs together until we go to bed. And then maybe the next day is a permaculture day. We'll do a full in-depth tour of our permaculture farm and go around and teach you guys some while we're harvesting wild turkey tail mushrooms. And we'll make a tincture later in the afternoon with that mushroom tea, non-psychoactive, just a medicinal mushroom. And then maybe we'll go and take a quick drive to a friend's permaculture farm where they've got mature durians and mangosteens and interesting varieties, and do a tour of an older farm. So have a permaculture day. Maybe the next day we'll hike Chiripo, the mountain, early in the morning, and then we'll come back and spend some time in my greenhouse and plant a bunch of starts and seeds and get our hands in the soil while we're always just drinking fresh coconut water and harvesting bananas and papayas from the land, always doing yoga. That's the kind of stuff we're gonna do. And then probably every day or every other day, we'll have the space to sit down as a group of just open communication. Share about what you're scared of, what you're excited about in life, what you need support in, anxiety. Like, we're gonna be here together to grow and share together and get to know each other. And we need more of that in our world, especially with COVID. We've become isolated. And there's nothing that feels better than just getting together with a community and vibing out and loving each other and supporting each other. So that's what our events are gonna be, the healthiest local fruit and roots and beans of our area, yoga every day, tons of beach time, tons of waterfall time, getting your hands in the soil, swimming in our pool, hanging out. That's what we're gonna do. So if you're excited about that, if we get our shit together, we might have our first retreat like that for about 10 people this coming August, but more realistically, we'll probably do it in like November or December, a little winter break one. Now, if you're still watching this video, means you like me riffing and talking. So I just want to share some crazy stuff. You know, it's Trump's last week as president, and he's, as I said with the hippie stuff, to hate Trump and fight against Trump is very important, because he symbolizes so much greed and corruption and lying and hatred, and we don't need that in our world. So it's pretty wild what he's doing right now. Not coming you know, not coming to the inauguration, still saying that this election was rigged, trying to dismantle our system of democracy. And it really pains me that there's a number of people that I know online and in my community who are vegan and think they're anti-establishment, and they're so far out into their deluded minds that they think there's some narrative that just because mainstream media like CNN, which, trust me, I understand they have an agenda, they're corporately funded, they can't fully be trusted. I don't get my news mainly from mainstream media, but just because a lot of mainstream media also doesn't like Trump, they think that Trump is some kind of savior because anything that, and he's like really trying to do good in the world. And if you think that, and if you're like vegan and about peace, and you think that Trump is trying to do good and that Democrats are, like, if you believe in QAnon, please comment down below. I need to know who you are, why you're so susceptible to believing such nonsense. And it's just so disturbing, I think, where we've gotten as a country, where half the country thinks that Democrats, establishment Democrats, who I don't like either, but who I think are just corporate hacks that have been paid off to keep businesses as usual in America. But like half the country thinks that these Democrats are like reptilian pedophiles and that Trump is trying to like save the children. What is wrong with you? Are you crazy? Trump is just a normal corporate hack, greedy, white supremacist, racist dude who likes power and keeping America racist. Okay, and then this one story, I learned about it yesterday, so comment down below if you've been researching it longer than I have. This nurse, Tiffany Dover, she fainted after getting one of the first rounds of the COVID vaccine. And then she came out the same day and was like, hey, I've fainted during shots many times before. I faint when I have some pain. And guess what? I can be a unique person in this story, because some people are like, no, that doesn't happen. You don't faint just from a shot. I've fainted multiple times from shots, not even vaccines, just shots. It's a immune response to people who have low blood pressure, which I naturally do, my whole family does. And if I have an acute amount of pain and I'm a little sick, and multiple times I've had to get a shot, like when I had strep throat really bad one time, and I faint when the needle's like still in me, or a couple minutes after. I've given blood before in high school, fainted a couple minutes after that. So it's normal that this nurse fainted. And then she hasn't been on social media very much, and there's this whole conspiracy theory that she died from the COVID vaccine. But the hospital where she works at, it's called like CHI or CMI or something, has said, nope, she's alive and well. She's just not like active on social media or trying to make public appearances because it's stressful for her, because she's like the plot of a conspiracy that some people are putting on her. So in my opinion, I trust the hospital who says she's not dead. But again, some people in my community I know have said that, no, it's the COVID vaccine is killing people, and they're trying to keep it from the public. So if you have any information on if this woman is alive or dead, let me know. I believe she is alive after getting the COVID vaccine. I also trust the doctors and scientists that a very small portion of people who get the vaccine are gonna have negative consequences, but that's literally expected. It's just a tiny, tiny portion, and the majority are gonna be fine and simply get immunity to this virus, and we'll be able to open up the economy again. That is what I think the vaccine is. It's not a ploy to sterilize the world. It's not dangerous for 99% of the people who get it. And it's literally gonna bring people immunity without having to get COVID, and we'll be able to get back to a normal life. So that's what I think. Let me know what you think about this video. If you're excited to come to the land, let me know. I wanna get some validation that I'm not crazy building this permaculture fruit farm retreat center in the jungle, and that y'all are actually planning to come visit and travel here, which would be such a blessing to be able to show you our lifestyle and the land that we're living on. So much love, Dream Extreme. Thanks for watching. As always, I've been posting podcasts and yoga flows on Patreon, so if you want to support and get more content of mine, you know where to go. Patreon, Plantriotic. Peace and love.